We were dispatched out around 2:30 in the morning for a structure fire with entrapment is what we were dispatched as. As soon as we arrived on scene, we had heavy fire conditions. It was a 2-story hotel with 4 different occupancies within the structure. And it being a 2-story structure, we had a heavy fire already venting through the 2nd-story roof out of one of the bedrooms.
When Captain Miller was given his report, I could hear people screaming in the background on his radio transmission, and that's never a good sign.
Stepped off the engine as soon as the air brake hit, and I ran over to the structure, and on the 2nd-story roof line, there was a gentleman waving his hands frantically. I asked, hey, is there anybody inside? Is it just you up there? And he said, my wife is trapped inside the bedroom somehow, and I can't get to her, and I need your help, she's dying.
To actually go into a burning building, physically grab a person, we call it making the grab.
I asked for a ladder immediately because I saw that we were going to need to be able to get into this 2nd story, and I got set up and let my captain know that we had an active rescue and we needed to go into rescue mode. We cleared out the rest of the window to take a look and saw heavy fire conditions, bad enough to where it wasn't really visible at all down to the ground, but we could see the significant amount of fire starting to actively grow inside the room. I dove through the window head first, rolled onto the ground. From there, I did a search and went about 10 feet inside the room. With that, the training that we've always kind of stood by is making sure we stayed in good communication and close to each other with 2 rescuers inside. The fire conditions were such that we felt like we had a very limited window, maybe 30 seconds to a minute, to make an active search and find somebody and pull them out. Time was of the essence, and at that point, that's when, as I was doing my left-hand searching, calling out, see if we had anybody, I went over because the smoke conditions were, so significant. I kind of went over and felt what felt like a human body, and that's where I kind of put my face as close down as possible to verify to see if I could see, and I could kind of see what looked like the outlining of a body. And I said, oh, we found the patient, we found the victim. And at that point, that's when I grabbed the patient, and she took a breath as soon as I pulled her up, and that's when I realized she was alive. And from there, I grabbed her and pulled her about 6 or 7 feet back towards the window, and that's where Fire Apparatus Engineer Omar Desiderio grabbed her as well, and with our help together, we brought her out through the window and then dragged her over to the ladder. At that point, she was unconscious, unfortunately, but she was still very slowly, but barely breathing, but still alive. So,
3-person staffing on an engine company that we have in Riverside County Fire is so vital because it gives you one person to be in command and take into consideration all the elements of command, including giving the report on conditions, maintaining the status of everybody, knowing where they're at, what they're doing, directing the operations on the ground, planning for unforeseen events that could happen. You have to have somebody that delivers water to the incident. That's the engineer's job, to drive, spot, and pump. And then you also have to have a firefighter that can go in, make a rescue, do the initial knockdown, start the overhaul process, and everybody has to know their role and everybody has to do their role kind of automatically, kind of like a robot. You have to function with commander's intent and have very little supervision, and that's kind of the way we function all the time.
We had 6 people that were on scene at the same time, 3172 and Engine 23, and it gave us the ability to effectively, quickly make a rescue and have backup appropriately personnel to where if we had an issue with a firefighter down, we already had people here on scene.
And in Riverside County Fire Department, in our partnership with CAL FIRE, this is a pretty good example of that. Pine Cove Fire Station has a 3-person county staffed engine and a 3-person state-funded Schedule B fire engine whose primary mission is wildland fire, but in Riverside County, we do it all on the Schedule B side. So To arrive on scene of a rescue in progress with 2 people that need to be rescued, with 2 engine companies and 6 people, is a perfect example of why the cooperative, regional, integrated fire protection is the best model for the citizens of Riverside County.
Obviously wanted to meet Tyler, but as I became to learn more about what happened, I just had to meet him. You know, he saved me, and I was nervous, and but also really excited.
Last time I saw you, it was a little bit of a different situation.
Yeah.
Are you feeling better?
I am.
I'm not trying to get emotional or anything, but you know.
Yeah. I'm always.
You know, I got 2 young kids, and so I looked and I'm like, there's no way, like, I might not make it out if we go in there, but, you know, I was like, I gotta go see if I can find them, you know. Thank goodness we had the training and the guys and the gals, you know, the staffing here to be able to do something like that. Because we're out in a rural area, you know, obviously, and it could have been different. 2 engines show up, and then Idlewild Fire and the ambulance and the helicopter came. I mean, all within like 10, 15 minutes, like everything converged. So it was like everything happened perfectly in sync. Like the helicopter landed, you immediately got put on there, moved directly to Arrowhead.
I'm glad I wasn't awake. I'm terrified of helicopters.
Yeah, give me one more hug. I